Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to show you my trading results for the month of June. I didn't do a weekly update last week as I noticed that it put a little bit too much pressure on me to record a video every week. Also, I have to get better at trading and practice, and YouTube on the side. I really like it and I want to document my journey, but a video every week was just a little bit too much for me. Also, I haven't taken that many trades, so that's why I decided to switch it up from now on to at least one video a month with a monthly review. And maybe when I learn something valuable, I will make a separate video about it, but that's how I am going to do it from now on. For everyone who doesn't know me, my name is Peter Alexander. I've been trading for almost 3 years now, and since a couple of months I decided to take it even more serious, work less, trade more, and I'm documenting my road to profitability, so feel free to follow along. Now let's dive into my H1. Here, as you can see, not a lot of trades taken, only 4. I tried to take a little bit more, but it ended up being only 4 that I got filled on. I'll show you the rest later. A couple of reasons why I didn't trade that much. First reason, I noticed that I was a little, not even a little, quite insecure about my setups and my edge. So that was the reason that I ended up missing a lot of trades, and afterwards I look back and I thought, yeah, I could have taken those easily. So this month, because I noticed this pattern, I started backtesting a lot, like live backtesting on the forex pairings. I'm doing the forex pairings because I haven't looked at the forex pairings before, so it will be completely new price action for me, and it ended up working quite well. I gained some more confidence in myself, so that's nice. I'll show you in a minute what I did on the forex pairings, but first we're going to dive into the trades. Okay, on the 12th of June, let me see if I can open up the trade. Yes, I can. Well, just let me show you the screenshots. This was the long. It was not a good trade, in my opinion. Even not because it was a loss, but I think it just wasn't a good trade, and I will show you a little bit more now. Let me check. Here on the lower time frame you can see why I didn't like the trade. We were uptrending, but as you saw in the previous picture, we were hitting resistance. So that's actually not always, but it can easily be the end of the uptrend. If you want to play the continuation, in my opinion, you can play this trade. So because you want to keep the uptrend alive, but when you lose the last push to your high, in my opinion, that's the end of the uptrend, especially when you're at a higher time frame resistance. So that is what happened here. As you can see on the last picture, on the higher time frame, it looked like this was the start to the last high, but when you go a little bit lower time frame, here you can see it wasn't actually the start to the high. You already lost the start to the high here, and in my opinion that was the reversal sign. So that meant for me, in my strategy, I should not play these kind of longs directly. I only try to take the longs with the trend directly, and this was after the uptrend. It was after the confirmation of a downtrend even. Well, there were some nice shorts in here. I'll show you later on TradingView after I discussed all my trades. Let me go back to to the next trade. Okay, this was also a loss, as you can see. Also, in my opinion, a mistake from my part. One thing that's good from this month is that last month, in my opinion, I made 3 mistakes in this month. Only 2, so getting a little bit better. I hope next month I will have 0, but 1 is also okay. Just less than this month, I would be happy. Okay, let me check what trade I took. Okay, yeah. Here, in my opinion, this was a very long range, and I should have gotten in position inside of this range. And just as the last trade, actually, I noticed that it was more of an emotional mistake from my part. And the emotional mistake is that it's just FOMO to get into a position. Because when you're inside of a range for that long and you don't manage to get into a trade, in my opinion, you're a little bit late to look for a position. But because I was waiting a long time and I saw an opportunity, I ignored the signs that told me to not get into this trade. Just as this rejection candle, I'll show you on the lower time frame on the next picture, but as you can see here, you're losing this push to the high and you're in a downtrend already. Of course, you're making a higher low, but this is a big important loss. Also on the 1 hour time frame, you can see there was not even one green candle that you back tested. Here on the 15-minute, you will see in the next picture, is a very important level that you just reject. And with this rejection, it is not really a nice gain of this range, because you can see you reject it and you lose all strength to the upside and you just go back down. This is how it looks on the lower time frame. Here you can see this was the last push to the high, and this was the level that made you lose this range. And here you can see it's not a strong gain of this range. Taking liquidity and testing the previous range, yeah, not a strong gain. It's just taking liquidity above this high and at this important level. So this is just a continuation of the downtrend and not the start of an uptrend, in my opinion. So that's why it was not good to take this trade. Okay. Sorry. Then the last 2 trades. This trade was a break-even trade. It is green, but actually it is a break-even. So the profits are very minimal. Okay, in my opinion, this was a good idea. Execution was a little off. I will show you. We were hitting higher time frame resistance here for the first time, here for the second time, and then on the lower time frame, you lost the smaller construction. So for me, that was a sign to look for the short. Of course, you are going up with a lot of momentum, but in my opinion, it was a valid play. As you can see here, on the lower time frame, you're sweeping the previous high, taking the liquidity, and then over here you're losing the move up without, that's also important for these kind of setups to me, without hitting the target already. As you can see, this was one of the targets. The range low was the end target of the trade, but I was too defensively with my TP. I should have taken it a little bit higher, as it is a TP, and the R was already good for this first TP. I wanted to get out in two orders with 50% both, but because of the front run of my TP, and I saw that we respected this level, and we were still in an uptrend, and with such a violent move up, a lot of times you get a little bit of liquidity above the previous high. So with that in the back of my mind, and also the time, as you can see here, it was already quite late and I wanted to go to sleep. I decided to put my stop above this test, so that maybe if it really would become a downtrend, this was also the last nice level, in my opinion, that was untested. So if we went above it, in my opinion, the chances were quite big that we would continue uptrending. So also a little bit peace of mind that I moved this stop, so I could just sleep and know that I wouldn't lose money. So not a winner, break even. Okay. And then the last one. This was the only winner. Unfortunately, not a big one, but in my opinion, this was a good trade. Okay, here you can see, here this was the last trade. We moved higher. We were at a different resistance level, but again at a big resistance level. You made a compression. You tested this high. You can see that later in the other picture, and you just lost it. And this was the move to this high. You lost it over here on the 1 hour time frame. So to me it was a sign to look for a short. And this liquidity to me looked like it would have been easy to fill it all up. That happened later in the Bitcoin price, but not in this trade. So that was why my end target was here, but obviously we didn't reach it. Now I will show you how I managed it. Here you can see the entry was actually with a 1 minute candle, a 1 time frame lower, and that was the start of the move down. In my opinion, this wasn't that beautiful. There wasn't a nice level in here. The construction was right, but the level wasn't that right to me. Didn't look that good to me. So that was why I fine-tuned it all the way down. That was a good decision in my opinion. Also, as you can see here, that was the reason that I got filled. Of course, you would have been filled later here if you had taken the entry higher, but in my opinion that trade was less nice because you already made this move down. Well, the TPs, one was just the start of this move up, and one was here, because I'm not a trading view, you don't see the line, but here was a nice level, also in a little bit on a time frame a little bit higher, there was a nice level here. So 50% out. I managed my stop here above the high because I thought if I would sweep that high that it would be likely to that we saw higher prices. I could have been in it for a little bit longer, but later I would have been stopped out. So I think this was it was managed very good. I could have maybe placed the stop in profit, but in my opinion this was a good trade, almost 0.5% of profit, so it was okay. Okay, now let's see how long. Okay, those were my edge wonk trades. Now I'm going to show you what I did with the backtesting on TradingView. Or first, now let's just show my trades. So these were my trades. Maybe you remember them. I changed my chart colors, so that's why now it's white. This is what you will be seeing from now on. Here I tried to take this short. In my opinion, I could have left it, looking back on it, but on the lower time frame, here you can see I thought we hit the target already. I still think that we hit the target already, but because it was still open and the higher time frame picture was very clear, it was a big resistance level, so that makes it valid to still leave the short open and just leave it because you're at a higher time frame resistance level. So it's very how would you say it? So it's very favorable. So it's very favorable. Just leave it because because we are at a higher time frame resistance level, so it's very favorable to shorts. So that's a big reason to leave a short like this. But in the moment, I made a different decision. In my opinion, there were two other chances to get into the short. This one and this one. I like this one a lot, but I just missed it because of dinner. But yeah, that was the main trade, the short. And because I missed the short, as I already said, I got a little bit FOMO to get into a position, because this is a period of 3 days, and then for 3 days you're not in a trade, and that's just a mistake from my part. Okay, going further. Let's see. Yeah, this was one other order that I placed. I removed it because of bedtime, as you can see, but mainly because of insecurity. At this, with this trade, what happened was, as you can see, nice gain over here from this level. This was the level that created the gain, and I would have been filled like perfectly, but also at night, so that was not wrong that I deleted it because of the time. But what I actually did was, here, when I was still awake, I removed the trade just because before I got filled. And the reason I did it was because I was like almost, yeah, like actually scared to get filled, because I was not comfortable in my setup, and I think I put too much pressure on becoming profitable very quickly. But it's way more important for me to define exactly what my edge is. So this was the moment that I decided that I should create more. That I should create more trust in my knowledge and in my setup and in my edge, and that's why I started backtesting. Well, this was the only trade that I didn't show you before, so I'm going to show you what I did with the backtesting. I just used the replay tool, and I tried to go all the way to the 3-minute time frame, sometimes even the 1 minute. And here I did it on Euro USD. I also started at GBP USD, I think, and I just manage it as if I'm trading for real. And as you can see, it went okay. You see a lot of losers as well. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 losers, 3 winners, 6 losers. Here 5 winners, 7 losers, 6 winners, 7 winners, 9 losers. So 9 losers, 7 winners. But what I noticed was that adding up all the R multiples, I was profitable with this way of trading. So that gave me a lot of extra confidence. I made some other trades at the GBP USD as well, but you know what I mean. I don't have to show it to you, I think. But what I noticed was that I was actually profitable when I really traded what I saw. And the funny thing is that even with these trades, in my opinion, I made some mistakes as well. So some trades I just shouldn't have taken. So when I get better, I will even be able to filter those out. So there comes my plan for the coming months. I'm going to try to backtest like a lot of trades. I have my mind on 1000, but that will be a lot. So maybe a couple hundred, like 200-300 this year, and then the rest will come later in next year. And simultaneously, I will try to build a playbook on Notion with my perfect setups, so I can really see what works for me and what doesn't. So this way I can really sharpen my edge. So that's also a reason why I didn't take that many trades, but a big reason as well was that just wasn't focused like 100%. I went out with my friends a couple of times because I've been traveling for a couple of months and I haven't seen them. Also, now it's summertime in the Netherlands and it's finally nice weather. So that's also a big reason. And this month of June, I just got better from being sick, but now I'm sharp and I will focus even more and I will still do the back testing, but I will also be training more. Uh, More than 4 times will be easy, I think. Also because I gained some trust from my backtesting results. So um, those were my results. Thank you for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, um, follow along if you want by subscribing. Like the video if you liked the video, of course. And if you want more frequent updates from me, you can follow me on X. I post a little bit more frequently over there, so link will be in the description. Goodbye.